Hello, Peach. Peach, how did you get to be a peach? By saying hi, Peach? Is that what you did? You said hi, Peach, and you got to be a peach? What's this? Hello, Peach. What's going on here? Hello, Peach. What you doing down there, Peach? Hey, you two. Hi, Eleanor. Hi, Amy. Peaches, come here, Peach. Come on, step up. There we go. Oh, Lucy bird. Yeah. Hey, Peach. Oh, yeah, I still have that hanging around my neck, don't I? The old key. Hi, Susie Q. Peaches, can you say hi? You can say hello. You say hello? Hello, Peaches. How about a song? You want to do a song, Peach? Hmm? You gonna do a song? Peach gonna do a song? Not gonna do a song, Peaches? Peachy song? Peachy song? Oh, hello. That's as close to a song as we get. Just hello. Hello. Hmm? Hey, baby. Hi, Kaisei. Say hello, Peaches. Hello. Hello? Hello, Peaches. Hi, Magda. I finally made it. Ugh, what a morning. Right, Peach? Right, Peach? Eleanor says, hello, Peaches. Peaches. She's doing much better. She has 2 more doses of the meds, and then I've got to take her back, and you have to look at her and see what's going on. But she's doing good right now. A little bit of pink in her droppings, but not much. Not as much as there used to be. And her attitude is back, isn't it? You're not so sure about being... You want me to move this chair back a little bit? Did you want to sit right... Whoops. Did you want to sit up here? Is that what you want? Let me get that out of your way. Is that what you want? Okay, I thought so. I thought so. Yeah, Peach. Yeah, she doesn't like the YouTube thing because she can't hear the people. She wants to hear the people. Don't you, baby? Now, she's been active and just being herself, and I think she learned a little bit just to kind of sit on me and expect me to take care of her and pet her when she was not feeling well. So I think some of this is behavioral since that was quite the rouse up there. Enough dust for half the universe. Yeah, I released a video yesterday, Does She Dream? I released that publicly on YouTube, so members had it up there for 4 days, I think. And now it's to the general public. Yep. What do you think? I'm working on another one, which the birds don't want me to do. They must not, because they're climbing all over me when I'm trying to do it. Right, Peach? What will you do if I don't pet you? Hmm? What will you do? You gonna say something? Yeah, this new video it's got some it's got some clips of the birds in it at the end, but it's about the dust that these guys make. And what I do is I've got a stack of carbon filters, and I have to change them about every 3 days. They turn from black completely to white. And hi, Kira. Um, so what I have to do is I have to take them out, and I have to put them. I put them up on an old grate from a cage, and there's a stand that I have that I hook it on, and I use a leaf blower. You wouldn't believe what comes out of them. So you figure that if you have one bird, you're going to get 1/12 of that probably. Um, Umbrellas have a little less. Cerams have a lot more, but yep, yep, yep. You want attention? Do you want attention? Well, your public's out there and you're acting all like, oh, I need to be petted, aren't you? Yeah, she's been bouncing up and down and singing, and there she goes. I just touched her wings and she starts displaying, so she's back to her old self. But we don't know how long that'll last. So when we go for the exam, it's going to be seeing, we have to let it sit until it starts to look like she's having problems again, right? That's when we get an appointment right away and get her down there. And then we have to try to figure out exactly how often to give her these shots, because they're $70 a shot, so. Right, Peach? Some birds need every 3 days, some once a week, some once a month, and sometimes it's once a year, but you just don't know. So it's trial and error, which they call titrating to effect, right? You want to find out just the right amount to give to stop the problem. But we got you back now, don't we, kid? Hmm? Don't we? You you don't realize there's people there, do you? Hi, Cause. You don't realize it. She says, I see the cameras, but I don't hear anybody. And it's taken a little while, too, with the shots to find the best way to give them to her where it hurts her the least. I'm only one person, so I have to put a collar around her neck, kind of like they do around a dog. Usually on these guys you put the collar facing down, but I have it facing up. And let's see. Do you think, Eleanor says, do you think she's learned that the people talk when you put the cameras up? Yeah, she's learned that, I'm sure, because she expects it. I mean, she starts looking around, but if she doesn't hear anything, she gives up. So she's not hearing anybody talk. we could find some way to get someone to talk to her. I don't have a second phone line, but maybe we can do that somehow, huh, kid? I don't think it's possible to FaceTime when you're live on YouTube. Probably the only way would be something like Zoom. But I don't know how much they charge for that broadcasting to YouTube thing. I'll have to look. They're pretty pricey on stuff beyond the basic level. So, but if there's a way to do that and still broadcast to YouTube, and then we can have somebody talking to Peaches, and she'll be more interested. Oh, you got me preening you. Yeah. She can't, on top of everything else, she can't preen herself, so I have to preen her. And you don't know how many feathers these guys have until you have to preen them. She can't reach any of these back here. And the ones on this side, on her right side, are the ones that get impacted, have been impacted in the past. So we had a good doctor, but he wigged out and sold off his business. So he had Dr. Loudis in Encinitas sold his business to VCA, I think. And there's a lot of sadness in this industry dealing with these birds because they get these weird diseases like beak and feather disease and PDD and psittacosis and stuff like that. So, and then we don't have all the knowledge we need to be able to help them. So there's not a lot of money in helping birds. And as we all know, the West is driven by one thing, money. So we do have some researchers out there doing some research. There goes a truck. That's an awfully small road to have a big diesel rolling a trailer down, but he's doing research. I think he's researching PDD right now. So, but a researcher can't do everything. So, Peaches, you woke up Siri when you did that. I'm not sure how you did that, but you did. Tail flash there. Yeah, she likes to talk to people, don't you? Puts her beak right up to the screen. Don't you, Peach? Don't you, Peach? Yeah, you don't want to preen. You definitely don't want to preen a bird below the neck, as Amy is saying. The only reason I do it is because she can't do it herself. So, and you get one of these birds mated to you, and you don't realize what a problem that can be because they have their rules of how you're supposed to behave if you're their mate. You don't really want to be under those rules. Thanks for missing the iPad there, guy. Mander. What's up, Mander? Yeah. What a good boy you are. Yes, you are. You are such a good boy. And this one with his twisted pelvis. He doesn't move around too fast. He's got some fancy behaviors that someone else taught him, but I don't do them too often because he does have that problem with his back. So actually, his pelvis, not his back, but it does twist his spine. So not the spine that's the problem; it's the pelvis. But yeah, he does push-ups and he also or sit-ups. He does sit-ups and he also plays dead. Don't you? Hmm? He likes to do those behaviors too, but most of these guys, once they get trained, they like to do what they've been trained to do. They enjoy it. But it's a little hard on him, isn't it, boy? Hmm? He's a little hard on the big boy. And he's such a cuddly guy. That's something else. People will say, well, I want a female because they're cuddly. Yeah, males are cuddly too. So, right? Right. Nice. He is just enamored of sugar, and sugar will have nothing to do with him. He's, he keeps trying to get her to preen him, and she just won't do it. Um, and then she gets upset and starts chasing him. And he's just a big love bug, aren't you? You're just a big old sweet boy. Yeah. But if you're petting him and you stop petting him, he'll go away. That's just the way he is. It's like, okay, well, we're done. You like a lot of attention all at once, don't you, big boy? Peaches are awfully quiet. You were yelling at me just an hour ago. Yes, she yells at me. Yep, I wasn't moving fast enough for her. I've been moving since, let's see, 6 hours, pretty much without a break. This is the day I make up their. I don't freeze mash. I don't like what it does, but I refrigerate it. So I make it for one day, and then the day I make it for that day and the next 3 days. And I tried to do it yesterday. Oh no, that didn't work. These guys just wanted to be dealt with, so you take what you take what you can. They were all hanging on me yesterday, and they wanted extra time playing around in the aviary. So sure, go for it. Yeah, can I say? Yeah, they can't. That's why you can have two birds that are mated to each other in the wild, and yet you'll see the female and the male going to other birds to be preened. It's perfectly acceptable for any bird to preen the head because they can't reach it. So if you have to learn how to preen your bird, because if you just have one bird, you have to know how to do it. And it isn't that tough. You're going to take the feather. See, I won't find one because she's already been preened there. Let me see. How about in here? Do we have one? I'm pretty good about preening most of the feathers. Oh, there we go. All right. I don't know if I can show that on screen, but there's a feather here. And there's a sheath around the feather. And then if you look down, you'll see a red area, okay? You don't want to go to the red area. You want to stay about 3/4 of an inch or an inch away from it. Um, about a centimeter, okay? Um, and then you just take your nail and break a little bit of the keratin sheath off and kind of fluff the feather and break a little bit more off. And when you get, if you go too far, you'll hear it because they make like a barking sound. They all have a slightly different sound. Um, but yeah, you definitely have to do that one. Cecil came here. I picked him up in a parking lot, and they've driven him down from up north. So they drove like 4 hours to get down here. And he just had a bunch of, his head was just spikes that nobody had ever preened his head. So they went to hand him to me. I said, hold on, hold on, hold on. And I just preened each of those feathers down. And it's a good bonding, not over bonding, but it's a good way to bond with a bird is to do that. But you need to preen their heads, yeah, like every day. Just look and see if there's a feather that's growing that's got at least a centimeter of sheath on it, and don't get too close to that little red spot at the bottom. And usually if you get within like half a centimeter of it, they'll start barking at you. So just work your waist down slowly and then move on to the next one. You know, they're different in some of the ways they behave, male and female. So the question is, do you find male or female cockatoos easier to handle or no difference? Essentially, it's no difference. I mean, they have different behaviors, but they're just as easy to handle. Um, I mean, salamander, he's the biggest bird here, and he's incredibly easy to handle as long as you're not wearing a baseball cap or carrying a beer. Um, it also depends on whether the bird has been has considered a mate in its environment. So, um, if a bird is mated to a human or another bird, they're not that easy to handle. Males will be a little easier in that case. The females will be kind of standoffish. Um, yeah, there's differences. If they try to bond with you, you'll see that the female will shake and the male will flare his tail, or take his beak and like hammer you with his beak, that kind of thing. When you start getting those signs, you want to back off, but gently. Just, you don't want to push the bird away. You just kind of try to divert their attention to something else. Um, it's not a good idea when a bird's doing a natural behavior to try to just flat out stop them. So you just kind of redirect them a little bit. If they start vibrating, you take the female and kind of sit her over here and give her a couple scritches on the head, and just let them sit there till they calm down. So, um, well, can I say, will the bird feel itchy all the time if its head cannot be preened? I imagine so, but we can't get inside their heads. I know that they constantly present, like with salamander, he will present his head to be preened, and whether or not it's because it bothers them or because it's an innate behavior, we don't know. We can't get in their heads. But I can imagine if I had a bunch of spikes sticking out of my head, I wouldn't feel too good about it. But we really don't know. Yeah, Amy, that's true. Some birds will try try to preen their heads by rubbing their heads on things, but you know the way these feathers are, it doesn't do a great job. For example, it also depends on the species, but when Cecil got here, he just had perfectly formed spikes on his head, you know, and I'm fairly sure he had tried to do something about that, but he was nearly catatonic when I got him. He was more like a cockatoo doll, you know, or mannequin than he was a cockatoo. He had been so ignored and had not been given the attention he needed. So it was like you look in his eyes and you could tell the lights were on, but nobody was home. That's the way he was. But now he's just full of life. One of the more active and interesting companions to have around you. Unfortunately, this mating season is really driving him crazy, so he has to come out with the guys, not with the girls. Sal likes to come out. You want to come over here? All right. Sal likes to come out this way because although he does get chased a little bit by Sugar and a little bit by Jasmine, it's not like being followed by Snowball. So, oh, you're welcome. Yeah, it's unfortunate that people bring these birds into their homes and they don't know anything about them. There's so much to learn. I mean, I certainly don't know everything, but I've been studying 14 years. I've been studying these guys, and just living with them doesn't do it either. I mean, you have to do a little study, and actually, I should say do quite a bit of study because they're not like us at all. They see things differently, literally see things differently, and the world's different to them. So, right, Peach? Oh, Peach, you're just acting like, oh, I'm just poor me, and you're just not like that lately. No, you haven't been like that. Peaches, can you say hello, Peach? Can you do a song? Peaches, can you sing a song? Yeah, the best information available, I mean, there's two essential books. There's more than that, but the two essential books are the Manual of Parrot Behavior, which is a compendium of scientific research on birds all the way from egg all the way up to old age. Um, that's by Andrew Lucier, DVM, and then the other one would be the BASAVA, British Small Animal Veterinary Association's book on citizen birds. Um, for example, if you needed to give your bird an injection, it actually has a section in there on how to do it, where to give an injection, and you know that's important to know. If your bird is exhibiting some kind of a problem, you can look up physical problems in there. There's a small section on behavior in there too, but the those two books, the Basava Manual on Citizen Birds, and Lucer's book are critical. There are other ones that are helpful to some degree, but then another important thing to know is how to train a bird. You know, people say, "Well, I don't want to train my." I hear them say, "I don't want to train my bird. They're not a circus animal." Okay, then don't train your children. They're not circus animals, so why should they learn to read and write? And why should they go to school at all? With birds, it's a little different. They like the interaction, the social interaction, so training is fun for them. And there's a feeling of accomplishment when they do these things. I can get, like, Salamander will do his behaviors, and all he wants is being petted or preened. That's all he wants. You don't have to give him any food or anything. Um, with Romeo, the times I've worked with him and training him, he actually acts like he's upset if you try to give him food. He wants to be petted. And I remember I was in long time ago. I was in a room with a trainer and with several other people, and the trainer was saying that he had an umbrella cockatoo named Rocky. He said Rocky doesn't respond to being trained with food. He just likes to be petted. So he trained him a new behavior. I forget what it was because, like I said, this was a long time ago. But he trained him to do a behavior he'd never done before that day and showed us how to do it. But that's important. And, on the other side, if you learn how to train animals, it works on all the animals. You need to understand the species you're working with, but the basic tools are all the same. So if you take something like Dr. Zelig's Animal Training 101, by the time you're done, you'll be able to train your kids, your spouse, your boss. I mean, you learn how to use these techniques on everybody because we're all animals, right? So we all respond to behavioral techniques like these. So. And I took Dr. Zelig's course later. The first course was with. Oh, here we go. Hold on, we gotta wait for the helicopter to pass over. Well, laziness is something we train ourselves into. I say the thing to remember is that you can spend a half hour a week training your bird, 3 10-minute sessions, and sometimes it's less than that because you go to train them and you say they get tired, or they're not in the mood. So we all have to be in the mood for something. Then you let them do a behavior that they normally do, like step up, and you have them do that a couple of times. You reward them, and you just pass on it and go to the next session. So 10 minutes a day, 3 days a week is fine. 3 or 4 days a week. And if you do it in a 10-minute session and you make sure it never goes over 10, then it won't be a problem. Yeah, I'm petting her. I'm petting that bird. That bird. That sugar bird. And this one is just not happy that Jasmine is here. She just doesn't want Jasmine around. Hi, Michelle. You want to teach a bird to target to your finger, okay, or target to something else. Fingers are easy, though, so you get them to target to a finger. This one's ignoring me now. So that you can put a finger under a wing. One of the things I teach birds is if I put my finger under their wing, they lift their wing. So when you're at the vet, that's easy, right? The same thing with the beak, being able to open the beak so you can look in the throat. Yeah, see? I can get Salamander to do it, but he's not facing where you can see him. I'm putting my finger in his beak so I can see into his beak. It's a trained behavior. And that, sorry, didn't actually bumped his eye. You okay? All right. So, but targeting is the first thing. So you get them to go to where your finger is, and you can even use the word target if you want. So, and then once they do what you want them to do, you say, good. I don't believe in the clickers because these guys can imitate them, especially African Greys. So you don't use a clicker, you just use good. And I have two forms of that. One is when they're doing the right thing, but they haven't finished yet. And I say good, just good, in a normal voice. When I say it good like that, that means they've done the right thing and they're getting the reward right now. It's coming right now. So, but in a session, you want to keep it to about 10 minutes or less if the bird isn't in the mood. You want to make sure there's no distractions. Best to do it in a room where there's no distractions. And then when you're done, at the end, you make sure you finish with a positive note. If for some reason they're not getting it, you have them do a behavior they're used to, that they know how to do, and then you praise them. In other words, you're going to give them that secondary reinforcer, which is praise. You say good, and good, you know, and give them their treats. So, you gonna dance up there? Oh, my favorite wine. There's my favorite wine. It's sugar wine. Yeah, it is. But it makes it easier for you too if you don't make the sessions too long. You don't want to wear them out, so 10 minutes is fine. Actually, it's the recommended time period. So, yeah, Peach is doing well. It seems like when I take her out here, though, she wants to just be held, and I think that's behavioral. I don't think there's anything wrong with her. She just like hold me, right, right, Peach, because she's been busy. She's been looking good. Her droppings look good. There's a little bit of pink to them still. She's been talking. You never know what to listen to her right now. You're not talking right now. You want to sing a song, Peach? Peach, you want to sing a song? Uh-oh. I wasn't petting him enough, so off goes the salamander. I'm sorry. I know you wanted to be petted more. I know. Yep. She's been demanding, too, which is a good sign, because there for a while, she wasn't really demanding anything, and that's not a good sign. I mean, that's... You should be telling you what they want. Shouldn't you, Peach? Peaches should say, I want this, I want that. Which she has been doing now for 2 days. Hi, Falcon Zoo. It's okay, I was a little late getting out here anyway. Just couldn't get that. Usually I do all the prep the night before, at least, and I couldn't do it. I was only going to get about 4 hours of sleep if I stayed up to make the food last night, so I did it this morning. And I had to run my fat little legs around trying to get everything done. Right? Thank you. Dust storm. It's a dust storm. Hi, Aaron. You know, another thing about these dust storms these guys do is that you won't see a mosquito anywhere near us. Hi, Cheryl. Yeah, you won't see a mosquito in here. We have, during the day now, we have these Asian tiger mosquitoes. So we have a daytime mosquito here and a nighttime mosquito. As long as I've got several guys out here, you don't see them. But once I get outside the cloud, as it were, of cockatoo dust, then you can find mosquitoes, or they find you. The dust has a lot of good uses too. Yep, it can clog your fans and stick to your furniture. And with these guys, you have to vacuum quite a bit too, because if you don't, then powder goes to the floor, and then when you step on it, it bounces it back up into the air. Some of it gets stuck in the carpet though. and it's more like a tiny hook too, because it's actually the little part of the semi plume feather that has a hook in it, and it helps them to hook their feathers together. When you see them preening their feathers, they're latching them together. Because if they aren't latched together tightly, you can't get any wind, right? You can't actually fly. So that little thing, that little powder down, is something that is essential to hooking feathers together. But it also makes it hard to get out of things. Yeah, yeah. Around here with 5 HEPA filters running, I got to change the carbon filter every 3 days. I have to take there's this particular unit has another filter on it that's like a fine plastic mesh that kind of they use on some air conditioners, which are totally useless on the air conditioner because then you get all your fins inside all clogged. So I always have to put carbon filters on those too, but um, that catches a lot of the dust. I mean, it comes out like caked white powder every day. Um, and then every 3 days, I got to take out the charcoal filter and replace it. And then I get a stack of those, and then I have to go outside and blow those out. I lose about 4 or 5 of them every time I do that. So what I mean by lose is if you can't get them to be black, if they stay like a grungy gray, not just gray but grungy, and it feels kind of oily, then you need to throw them out. So a set of 6 filters like that with 2 HEPA filters included runs about $40. Or you can cut your own too, but these it's a little harder because you got to cut them exact. They fit into a specific groove, but still these are the best HEPA filters I've ever found. Yeah, you crying again, sweetie? It's too bad you won't climb down on me. You won't, will you? No. Uh-oh. Yes, I know. That's your rival. That's the jazzbird. I know. There's the. I don't think that Jasmine is bonded to me, but I mean we get along, and I don't try to bond to birds. I don't. Even though I had to work pretty hard for the first 2 weeks to get her to come around, she came around pretty fast. She was a mutilator, so. And some of her feathers still come in with hollow sections in them. They haven't fully, the follicles haven't fully healed yet. So peaches. Magda, I could use a cocktail right now. I know you mean cockatiel, but cocktail sounds good. Although don't, I don't drink. I don't drink because I've got to work all the time, and I don't want to be even slightly out of it if there's a problem and I need to fix it. And you never know. I remember the day that I was sitting in a chair and I had an umbrella cockatoo come up and put their wing out. And it wasn't the part that was hurt, but that was the signal she gave me the last time she was hurt. So then I found out she had a blood feather and they had to pull it. So, right, Peach? Peaches just tells me what she wants. She looks at it and yells at me, don't you? I'm telling people that you yell at me. Yep, I'm telling them. You're going to sing, Peach? Oh, you got to go to the bathroom. All right. Okay, here, hold on. Hold on. There you go. Now, I wasn't especially wanting you to climb up. Did I misread that? That's your usual. If she starts moving around like that, she's got to go. You don't have to go. You don't have to go. Can you sing? Peaches, can you do a song? Peaches, can you do a song? Hello, Cece. You know, actually, Kaisei, I had someone I was just an acquaintance who was telling me, and I don't know how he kept his family, but he said he took his family to Indonesia for a visit. This was their vacation, right? So they're in Indonesia, and they wanted to live like the people, so they're in a grass hut. And it rains there and thunders all the time. So they wake up in the morning and they hear this thunder, but they can't hear any rain hitting their grass hut. So, they open the little door and look outside, and there's like 1,000 umbrella cockatoos, all just going off at the same time. It's, 300 or 400 probably, but he said 1,000. He said it was so loud that his ears rang for a week. I can't imagine that. Can you imagine that, Peaches? Are you trying to eat my clothes? Don't eat my clothes, please. Let's not eat the clothes. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing, Peaches? It's so quiet. It's so quiet. Why are you so quiet? You're not supposed to chew my clothing. Jazz. Yeah, wouldn't that be a kick to say to go to Indonesia? I've got a friend in Australia. He's actually on the board of directors, but yeah, he goes outside in the morning, and there's cockatoos on his outside his backyard in his backyard. He sees mostly the greater sulfurs where he is. So. Peachy shirt. Is there such a thing as a peachy shirt? We need to get more stuff out in that store if I had time to do anything. You're eating my clothing while I'm talking, silly girl. What's up, Peach? That's how you look when you gotta go to the bathroom. Do you have to go poop? You gotta poop? What are you doing? You want something. What do you want? What do you want? I think you do have to go. Peaches, what are you doing? don't think you can decide right now, can you, babe? I hear you. Sugar, I hear you. Come here, cutie pie. If you don't have to go, you can sit right where you were. Peaches got a song. Peaches have a song. Peachy got a song. Yeah, I knew you had to go. I knew. Hey, hey, hey. No, no, don't you mess with him. You okay? Leave him alone. Sugar. She doesn't understand the words. She does understand the tone. Leave him alone. No, you're not going to mess with him. No, sugar. 9. Lost him a line. Sugar. Yeah, like dose of dust there, huh? Did you dust me? Yeah, the cockatoos in the Saran from the Isle of Saran. Peach, she's not going to hurt you. Peach says it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Jazz is just like this. This is Jazz. Yeah, the albati has yellow feathers. The lesser sulfur, the greater sulfur, the tritons, they all have the yellow crest, but they're all different. And the lessers come from Indonesia. The greaters are from Australia. It's kind of, can I say, it's kind of like almost all, I won't say all, almost all humans have eyebrows, but they're all quite different. I say almost all because there's people who have alopecia. Like in the movie The Hills Have Eyes, the reason the guy looks so strange is he doesn't have any hair anywhere. I had a associate of mine that came down with alopecia, within a couple of months he had no hair. So Peach's next injection is what's today? Monday, Wednesday. Yeah. What are you doing? You big nut. All but 3, so 9 can fly. Now, as being able to and wanting to, willing to, if they aren't fledged and flown when they're young, they don't even seem to realize they can fly. Cecil will fly, but he only flies when something scares him, and then he looks as if he's shocked that he got to some place that was far away. He has a look on his face like, what just happened? And so he doesn't understand it. Now, if I had more time, if we hadn't run into this pandemic where I've had to do almost everything by myself without volunteers, I would have been spending more time training each of them to have flighted behaviors and recall and all that stuff. I've got a couple of birds with recall, but So they have their veterinary behaviors, but as far as going into other things, I mean, they like, you're bothering Peach there, kid. You don't mean to, but you are. Peach says she's not trying to hurt you. This is just Jazz. It's the way Jazz is. She just likes to dive into you. I have no idea why. You just have to kind of keep your ears from her because she likes to nibble your ears. She doesn't bite through them, but she likes to nibble on your ears. Don't you, girl? Peaches. It's funny. She's been so active. Her eyes look like her normal eyes now, but she's been sitting around a lot out here. You're not doing much, are you? Inside, you're busy. Yeah, there's a lot of different ones. There's several black ones. There's a palm cockatoo, and there's a few other types of black ones, and then there's the. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Peach. Here. Sorry, Peach. Did I ruffle your feathers? Did I ruffle the peach feather? Did I? Did I mess with the peach? I did? Okay. Not supposed to mess with the peach, are you? You don't mess with the peach. No, my phone decided to go into sleep mode, which usually it won't do, so. What's up, Peach? Peach. There's the peach. Can you see the peach, Peach? You can see the peach? Yeah, but there's nobody talking to you, right? Yeah. It's not quite right, is it? Oh, sugar. You big silly. This is the way she looks out here. I don't know. I think it's because she was not feeling well and I spent a lot of time petting her out here. But if she goes back into her cage or anywhere else in the sanctuary, she gets active and runs around. And out here, she just looks sleepy. Right, Peach? Peach ass. Oh, you big silly. Yep. She's been looking really good. I take her out here and she's like, eh. What are you doing? Peaches. What you doing, love bug? Hmm? Well, what do I have to do? Oh, I'm not trying to upset you. I mean, or you don't want you don't want me. Okay. She's like, you're not picking me up. Okay. That's a peachy thing to do. Tell me no. Silly girl. What do you want besides your big pet? Huh? You big monster chasing the salamander? Why do you chase the salamander? Sugar has a feather in here that's trying to get it where you can see it. There it is. That was a feather that was a blood feather. Now, any feather can be a blood feather. What happens? There's always blood in the feather when it first comes through. But if the blood stays in the feather too long, and it keeps going down towards the Oops. Sorry, Peach. There we go. Oh, I lost a whole bunch here. This thing went to sleep. Yeah, well, that's a perfect sound to get what you want. Whining, you know. She really nailed it. I have to be careful when I preen her head that I don't preen that bad feather. Okay. Yeah, if you've got a bird that's aggressive to men or aggressive to women, that's not baked in. These guys are too smart. Most unless the bird is just completely psychotic, you can take them out of that. You can break that issue. Um, I had a double yellow-headed Amazon here for a couple of weeks. Actually, it was more like a couple of months. But in the first 2 weeks, he was, you can't touch him. He won't let a man near him. You know? He was running around in the aviary, and he wasn't happy being around a whole bunch of cockatoos, but he'd come and sit in my lap. Yeah, a bird that, oh no men can get near him, and I watched a trainer too when I was taking my first sessions of training. I watched a trainer on video, and he had an Amazon like that bit everybody. I mean, this one was indiscriminate, didn't care who you were. And he had him on his hand in less than 5 minutes. So you can do it if you have the training. I mean, and that you can get the training, animal training 101 online. It's not specifically about birds, but it doesn't matter because it works with everybody. So let's see where we are. Okay, folks, we're gonna head out. I'm gonna sit here and deal with the birds. But thank you so much for coming, everybody. Thanks, Kaisei and Michelle and Cheryl and Eleanor and Amy, of course. Aaron, Magda. I know I'm going to forget somebody because I'm bad about names, but thank you for all for being here, and we'll be here Wednesday again. So thanks for showing up, and we'll see you later, kids. Right, birds?